Introduction to Finance, and this is our fourth lecture. What we have learned so far is how to use financial reports to compare different companies or compare a company at different points of time. But today we want to learn a new topic. Today's concept is very important because although it's very simple, later you will see how we can develop new and complicated formulas in finance using this simple concept. So you need to learn it by heart, you need to master it, because later we want to compute, let's say, we want to compute price of stocks, price of bonds, we want to make capital budgeting decisions, we want to compare different investments. So you will see that in the future, or even future topics, or later when you join the industry, we will be using this simple formula for many important and complicated financial decision makings. Actually, it's the same thing that you have seen in other aspects of your life as well. For example, we learn a very simple thing, then we practice, and then when we master it, we can do a wonderful, complicated, complex job. So, this is also what I did when I started to learn playing this drum. This is an Iranian drum, and the first lesson that I learned when I was a kid were there were just three simple moves. The name of this instrument is tombak, and you can Google to know more about it. So the three simple moves for this Iranian instrument are this one, and this one. So the first lesson that I learned was practice, and then after a few months, a few years, I could play more complicated songs. For example, like this one. Okay, so today I will show you this simple basic formula, and then later I will show you how to make something like this with this formula. Stay tuned, I want to show you the first video.
This topic is about interest rates. Let's start with an example. Suppose you want to invest 100 US dollar. So today, T0 means today's time. Today, suppose you want to put your money in a bank account, or there is an investment and you want to invest $100. So $100 is your initial investment. You put this $100 in a bank account, and the interest rate that you will receive, suppose interest rate is 10% per year. Now, how much will you have in 1 year from now? So next year, we want to know how much will be in my bank account. So I think everyone can compute this easily. 10% is the interest rate. 10% of $100 means that it will be added 10% to it, means that you will have $110, right? Now, assume that you withdraw this $10, the interest rate, the interest that you received, and you continue for 1 more year. So the $100 will be in your bank account for 1 more year, but you already received the $10. So actually you will receive the $10 of this 110, and the principal will be in your bank account. So how much you will have in the following year? Again, so here I withdraw $10, so $100 is left in my bank account. So in the following year, again $10 interest rate I will receive. So I will have $110. What I'm saying is, if you receive the interest rate only on the principal, the original principal, on the $100 you put in your bank account or your initial investment, this is called simple interest rate. So simple interest rate means you will receive interest only on the principal, only on the $100 initial investment. So every year you will receive $10. So after 3 years, the total interest you will have is $30. In 5 years, $50. In 10 years, $100, right? So this is called simple interest rate. Do we have any other type? Yes. We also have compound interest rate. So what is compound interest rate? Compound interest rate means you will receive interest on both original principal and the interest you already received. So you will receive interest on interest as well. So let's use the same example. But assuming that it's compound interest rate. So now let's assume that there is a bank account and you put $100 in your bank account. The interest rate is 10% per year, but you will receive interest on interest as well, means compound interest rate. So it's compound interest rate. So what is compound interest rate? What will be how much you will have after 1 year in your bank account? If the interest rate is 10%, you will have $110. We already know, right? 110. But this time, you won't withdraw the $10. Or let's say you will keep this $110 in your bank account. And of course, you will receive 10% on the $10 interest as well. So what you will receive is 10% interest on $110. So in the following year, how much will you have? In the following year, you will have, 10% will be of this 110 will be added to your investment. So you will have $121, not $120. How? So I will compute it here. So you start with $100, then after 1 year, 10% will be added to it. So you will have 110. This is your investment, the value of your investment after 1 year. Then in the following year, you will earn 10% on this $110. So if you compute, it will give you 121. What happens if you continue for 1 more year, T3? If you continue for 1 more year, then if it's compounding, so already you have $121, so 10% will be added to it. So now you have, if you compute it, $133. So 133.1. So now, do you see any pattern here? I can put this 100 multiplied by 1.1 here. I will replace, so this will be here, and then this will be here, will be inserted here. And what you will have, so after 3 years, so let's say future value in 3 years will be 100 multiplied by 1.0.1 here, then multiply by 1.01, then multiply by 1.01. What happened? So for 3, if you leave your money there for 3 years, I can write it like this. 1, 2, 3, power 3. So actually this is the formula for computing the future value of your investment after 3 years. So how can I generalize this formula? I think it's very clear. So the formula, the general form of the formula will be future value after n years is present value multiplied by 1 plus interest rate, and power is n. Means if you invest today, you can compute the value of your investment after n years, assuming that you receive R% interest rate. And this is called compounding interest rate. Means you will receive interest on interest.
Hello. Okay, so today's topic is different from previous topics because so far we have been working on financial reports of companies, but today we want to learn finance. So there's no more accounting topics, it's all about finance, and I like this topic because this is the basis for all future topics in this subject and future finance subjects that you may take. The formula that I share with you today is the most important formula in finance. So you need to memorize it. In the final exam, you need to memorize this formula. So practice and learn how to use it, right? The formulas that you will see in the future, as I said, many of them will be are developed based on this simple formula, right? So with this formula, we can compute present value or future value of some cash flows. Okay. Today, there are a few videos which are extremely important. There is one activity, and if you behave well, I may play more tombak for you. You remember what is tombak? The Iranian drum. Okay. Okay. So, hold on. Yep. Okay. Let me ask you this question. So, do you know what this background is? Yes. If you know, you are my friend. Okay, the next video that I want to show is the present value, future value formula, the most important basic formula that I just talked about will be explained more, and then I will show you different forms of this formula because the formula has some different parameters, so you can construct a formula based on any of these parameters. So we'll discuss all these later, and then we will have an activity. So don't leave the live session because there are some activities that I don't want you to miss it. Okay, are you ready? 3, 2, 1.
In the previous video, I showed you the difference between simple interest rate and compound interest rate. And we constructed this important formula. I tell you, this is the most important formula in finance. Many of the formulas that you will see in the future topics, they are derived from this formula. So I suggest you memorize this formula, but actually it's very easy to understand the formula. So actually no need to memorize it. You can easily understand and remember it when you need it. So this is future value, means you can compute the value of any cash flow today, the value of this any cash flow today in the future. It means what will be the value of $1 today, next year, or 2 years later, or n years later. And as you can see, there are 4 parameters here. Future value means the value of cash flows in the future time. So in this example, as you can see in this in the general form, as you can see, I want to compute the future value of an investment or a cash flow today. So today I have PV. So PV means the value of a cash flow or an investment today. So PV means present value. PV means present value of a cash flow. And FV means the future value of the cash flow or investment. So if you invest today $100, you want to know what's the value of this $100 5 years later or n years later. So you can compute it. Or sometimes you expect to receive, for example, $100 5 years later. You want to know what's the value of this $100 that you will receive, you expect to receive 5 years later today. Then we have R. What is R? R is interest rate. Sometimes we write I, sometimes we write R, so up to you. Interest rate, but interest rate per what? Per period. This is very important. Sometimes the period is year, sometimes the period is 6 months, sometimes the period is 3 months, sometimes it's a day. So the first thing you need to do is to identify the period. In most cases, yeah, I understand in most examples that you will see, we assume that period is year. So interest rate per year will be inserted in the formula. But there are some cases that period is not year. You will see these examples later. So this is very important. Keep this in mind that R or I or whatever you put it here is interest rate per period, not per year. It's per period. And then N. What is N? Or in some textbooks they write T, or whatever you are interested, you can put it here. But there should be something here as the power. So what is N? N is number of what? Number of year? No. Number of periods. Periods. So again, sometimes period is not year, but again, I understand in many cases, in many examples that I will give you, we assume period is year. But sometimes period can be month, 3 months, maybe 1 day, maybe 1 hour, so it depends. So this is the most important formula, and we will use it a lot. We will use it a lot. So you may even tattoo it on your skin, because you will be using this formula even in future topics, even when later you want to invest. For many important financial decision making, you will be using this formula. So this is very important. Yeah, as I said, this is the most important formula that you need to learn in this subject. Yeah, some of you asked me whether this is compounding. Yes, this is compounding formula, compounding interest rate. So when we talk about compounding means that we are computing the future value, right? And when we, at the same time, we have another term, discounting. This means computing the present value based on a future value, right? So yeah, this is the formula for compounding. So for simple interest rate, we assume that it's the same interest rate every year and you won't get interest on interest. But for compounding, this means that when you leave your interest in a bank account, for example, then you will receive interest on the interest that you left in the bank account. So in the second year, you will receive interest on the principal, on the $100 that you left in the bank account, plus interest on the interest of the $100 that you receive in the first year, you know? So it's not increasing at the same rate, right? Let me check your comments. Okay. Someone asks, isn't interest haram too? This you need to talk with your Islamic banking lecturer. Yeah. Okay. Now, before I show you, we discuss different forms of the formula that I just talked to you about. I have a news for you, which is that it seems today is the birthday of one of the students. The student name is Saeed bin Zafar. It's his birthday today. And so happy birthday, Saeed. I was trying to call him, but it seems not possible. So, okay, he's not answering the phone. Okay, no worries. So anyway, happy birthday, Saeed. Okay, so the activity for today is a quiz. And to answer the quiz questions, you need to have a good understanding of the meaning of this formula, the compounding interest rate, right? This means you receive interest on interest, right? So, okay, let me, so far what I have shown you is just a formula, how to use it to compute the present value of a cash flow that happens in the future, or a future value of a cash flow today. But there are other terms in the formula too. For example, there is N, or there is N or T, or there is R or interest rate, or I, right? So what if we want to compute interest rate? What if we want to compute number of periods? So now I want to show you different forms of the formula, and then we will have an example, and then maybe we can have the activity, right? So, yep. So far we have learned the difference between simple interest rate and compound interest rate. And I showed you how to construct this beautiful formula. And now I want to show you other forms of this formula. So we will use the same formula for other purposes as well. So in the formula that I showed you, the aim is to compute future value. So we already have cash flow today, and we want to know the value of this cash flow in the future time. Sometimes, however, we already have the value of a cash flow in the future, and we want to compute its value today. So this is called compounding. Means we want to compute the value of a cash flow today and forward it to the future. We can write the formula in the way to compute present value. So the same formula, I just bring this present value to this side and future value to this side. Or okay, let me make it easier. So we just put this here. Means we write the formula to compute present value. So it's future value divided by 1 plus Rn. So I just put this here, right? So it's the same thing, but we use it when we want to compute present value. For example, you expect to receive maybe $1,000 next year, and you want to know what's the value of this $1,000 next year today. So you can compute based on the interest rate that you consider. There are other forms as well. For example, sometimes we know we will receive maybe $1,000 next year, and we know what's the value today. Now we want to compute the interest rate. So we can write the formula based on R. It means we want to compute R. So the same formula. So I write the same formula in a way to find R. So sometimes we know the future value, we know the present value, and we know number of periods. So we want to compute the interest rate per period. Or sometimes in some cases, you may want to find N, means for how many periods. For example, then you can write the formula in the way to compute N. So it's ln of FV divided by PV divided by ln of 1 plus R. You can find these formulas in your textbook and in the slides, of course. And the example for this one can be for example, there is a loan, and you know the interest rate the bank wants to charge you. You know how much you are receiving today, and you know the value of this loan in the future, and you want to know for what's the time, what's the period, what's the number of periods between today and the time that let's say you will receive the loan or you will return back the loan. So these are the 4 forms of the formula that can be used to answer compound interest rate questions. Okay. When you compute the present value based on future value, this is called discounting. So compounding means you have the present value, you take it to the future. Discounting means you have the future value, you bring it to the present time. You want to know what's the value of a future cash flow today. This is called compounding. So for compounding, we bring future value to today's time to see what's the value of the cash flow in the future today. And compounding means taking the present value to the future. So these are the 4 main formulas for compounding interest rate. And there is something here you can see. Because R is in the denominator of the formula for present value, this means that the present value, there's a negative relationship between present value and interest rate. Means higher interest rate, lower present value. What does it mean? This means that, for example, if interest rate is high, maybe in a country with a very high inflation rate, so of course interest rate should be higher as well, because later you will see interest rate should cover the inflation rate. So in some countries like Venezuela or maybe Iran, because the inflation rate is high, so interest rate also is high. So in these countries, the value of a cash flow that you receive in the future will be less today, right? So yep. So there is a negative relationship between present value and interest rate. And yep, later I will show you some examples to see how you can use these formulas. And also I will show you how to use your financial calculator to do all these calculations. Because for these two, it's a bit difficult to use these formulas and do the calculation manually, but using a financial calculator, it will be much easier. Okay, so let's go for the next video.
Yep. Okay. So, do you see the class?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Guys, I have Sobit here. Yep. Here. So, it's his birthday today. I just called him and he is now in my, let me see, let me fix this. Yeah. Okay. So now he's in my IG, and you know, you need to follow me in IG, Instagram, Insta, because sometimes I post later when we reach to the exam or assignment, I will post some important things there. Of course, I will be using the portal times, but sometimes I want to immediately quickly tell you something, so you will get, you know, easier access to the information there. So now, how are you, Sabit? Happy birthday.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Happy birthday. Today is your birthday, right? Okay.
Thank you, sir.
I have, oh, what happened? Yeah. I asked you a question. If you answer my question, then I have a gift for you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in 3 seconds, tell me, are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes, sir. I'm ready.
In 3 seconds, tell me, what is the capital of Turkey?
What is the capital of Turkey?
Turkey is a country.
Yeah. The capital of Turkey, that is, I just remember, but I forgot.
Istanbul?
Actually, Istanbul. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Wrong answer, so no prize for you today. But happy birthday!
Sir, but thank you.
Okay, no worries. Happy birthday. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye. So, do you know what's the capital of Turkey? If you know, write in the chat box. It is not Istanbul. So, now I want to show you an example, and then we want to have our activity, right? So, the example that I want to show you, where is it? Yep. Are you ready for an example? I want to show you how to compute present value, real example, right? And then the activity.
Example 1, time value of money. This is our first example for time value of money. Suppose you need $10,000 in 1 year for the down payment on a new car. If you can earn 7% per year, how much do you need to invest today? So suppose there is a bank account and there's a bank that they pay 7% interest if you invest there, and you need $10,000 1 year from now. How much you should put in the bank account to have 10,000? So how much you should put today in your bank account to have $10,000 next year if the interest rate is 7%. I suggest you always start with drawing a timeline. So because this will help you understand the question better, especially for later you will see there are more complicated questions. This is very straightforward. It's good to practice here because later you need it. So this is today, T0, T1 means next year, and next year you need $10,000. So $10,000 you need next year. And we want to know how much we need to invest today if interest rate is 7% per year. First of all, what's the period here? Because you remember the formula that I showed you is per period. So the formula is per period. We need to identify the period first. Okay, the period here is a year because you invest today and the interest rate is 7% per year. So the period is year. So if the period is year, so all the parameters, I mean the N and also R in the formula will be per period. Now, what do we want to compute here? We know already $10,000 is the future value because it's next year money that you need. So future value is $10,000. And we know the interest rate. You can use R or I to show it. So I write I here. I is interest rate 7% per year, which here, as here is year is period, as period is year. So 7% per period or per year. And then what else? Number of periods, 1 year. So N is year 1. And then what do we want to compute? Present value. How much do we need to invest today? What's present value? So what's the formula for present value if it's a compounding case? So the formula, as you remember, is future value divided by 1 plus R power N. R is actually I. Sometimes we use R, sometimes we use I. It's the same thing. So FV, future value is $10,000 divided by 1 plus 7. 7 means 0.07 and power 1. So if you compute, it will be $9,345.79. This means you need to invest $9,345.79 today in your bank account, and then next year you will have $10,000 and you can use it to buy your new car. So this is the way we use the formula to compute present value. You may use your financial calculator as well. So there will be another video to show you how to use financial calculator Texas Instrument BA2 Plus, which is the calculator we use in this course. But here I just write simply what are the parameters you need to enter into the calculator. So for this question, for this sort of questions, we have 4 parameters. We need to enter them into the calculator. Please refer to the video on the calculator instruction. But the 4 parameters you need for this type of questions are future value. You need to enter $10,000. So you just enter 10,000, and then interest rate. When you use financial calculator, for the interest rate, you just enter 7. No need to enter 0.07. So when you use the formula, it should be in decimal point. When you use the financial calculator, just 7. And then N is 1. Then you press CPT, means compute present value. And then you will get the answer. So I just showed you one more example. You need to watch this video a few times and practice. This is the easiest form of the questions. Actually, you need to have a good understanding of this compounding interest rate, right? Let me give you another example. Actually, I already gave you this example in the video. So if you have $100 US, yeah, this is why I suggested. I said, please buy this calculator because in the exam it will help you a lot, right? And later you can sell it. Later you can sell it at a bit cheaper, but at least you can, you may get a, you may make it easier for yourself to pass this subject. Okay, now, so what okay, if you have $100 and you just leave it in a bank account, if it's simple interest rate and it's, let's say, 10% interest rate, this means every year you will receive $10, right? So $100 is the principal, you just leave it in the bank account, and if it's simple interest rate, means every year you just get $10 interest. But if it's compounding, so the first year you will get $10, the next year you will get $10 plus interest on the interest that you received in the first year. This means also you will receive 10% on the $10 that you received as interest in the first year. So next year you will receive $10 plus 10% of the $10. In the following year, you will get again the same $10 plus interest on the interest that you left in the bank account. So this is the difference between compounding and simple interest rate. In the meantime, I'm also trying to read your comments here in the chat box. Okay, if you download the app, the problem is for previous semester the exam was online, so you were not allowed to use any mobile phone or other devices. So this is the issue, right? So actually you're not allowed to use any other platform except times that the questions for the exam are there. But anyway, so now yeah, for the financial calculator we will be teaching in the tutorial classes. I will also post some videos, and later in 2 weeks I will also, here during the lecture, I will bring my financial calculator and show you how to use it. So don't worry, actually we will be teaching you how to use Texas Instruments BA2 Plus. For other financial calculators, you're allowed to use them in the exam, there's no problem if they are not programmable, but we cannot teach you how to use other brands because each brand is different, right? So it's totally fine if you want to use any brand as long as it's not programmable. You can use the financial calculator. There are many types of scientific calculators don't provide these functions, so it's only financial calculator. But anyway, if you want to use other brands, other types, it's totally fine, but of course we cannot teach all brands in class. I don't know other brands, right? I didn't choose this calculator. This was part of the subject when they gave me the subject to teach. I used to use another brand myself, but anyway, I had to learn this because I'm supposed to teach you, right? I need to teach you how to use it. So I just want to show you one more example. Yeah. So as today is our friend's birthday, so I thought maybe I can use his picture in the background. Yep. Not bad. So I sit here to cover. So now, okay, so let me show you one more example similar to what I just showed you, and then I believe then we can have the activity for today, right? So are you ready for the next example? Let's see. Yep, it's short. In this example, we want to compute present value of $150,000 that you will receive, that you need to pay in 17 years. Let's read the question. You want to begin saving for your son's college. So you now have a son and you want to save for his college, and you estimate that you need to pay $150,000 in 17 years. If you can earn 8% per year, how much you need to invest today? Let's draw the timeline. We always start with drawing the timeline. It will help you a lot later. You will see in in the future examples. So so T0 means today's time, then T1 next year, at the end of year 2, 3, and 17. So at the end of year 17, you need to pay $150,000. You need to have $150,000. How much do you need to invest today? So what's the present value of these $150,000 today if you earn 8% per year? Per year 8% means the period is per year. So the formula will be constructed per year. And we want to compute today's value. So we already have the future value, which is 150,000, and we want to compute present value if interest rate. So this is I or R or whatever you want to name it, 8%. So the formula is, we need to write the formula based on present value. Present value equals future value divided by 1 plus R power n. And future value is 150,000 divided by 1 plus, and interest rate is 8%, so we write 0.08. What's the power? N. N is 17. And if you do this calculation, you need to invest 40,540.34 US dollar today. So if you invest, if you put $40,540 in your bank account today and you earn 8% interest rate per year, after 17 years you will have 150,000 US dollar. So this is the way you can answer the question using the formula. You also may want to use your financial calculator, Texas Instrument BA2 Plus. This is the calculator we use in this course. So how to use? There are 4 parameters. You need to enter 3 of them to get the 4th one. What are the 4 parameters? PV, FV, R, N. And in this question, we have FV, R, and N, and we want to compute PV. So what you need to enter into the calculator is future value, 150,000. Then R, or in the financial calculator, it's I over Y. If you check your financial calculator, you see there is a button labeled as I, interest rate per year. So you need to key in for this 8. Because this is a calculator, no need to enter 0.08. So when you use the formula, you need the interest rate will be in decimal points. But when this is a calculator, when you're using a calculator, just enter 8. So interest rate, the button is, so there is one button for FV, there is one button for interest I over Y. Then there is one button for labeled as N, means number of periods, which is year here. And it's 17 in this question. You already keyed the data. Now we want to compute the present value of this 150,000 today. So you need to press CPT, means compute, and then press PV, means compute present value, and you will get the same answer. Okay, it's a time for our activity. There is a quiz, not many questions, just a few, and I want to see whether you were paying attention. Are you ready? Everyone, there is a quiz. Everyone, there is a quiz. Hold on. Yep, okay. So, have you used Slido before? Have you used Slido before? Today we want to use Slido platform. No need to use any calculator. It's very simple. You can just answer it without the financial calculator. The questions have been prepared in this way. I just want to assess your understanding of this topic. So let me share my screen with you. Okay, so please join Slido and use this code. Please join Slido and use this code. When everyone joins Slido, I will play the quiz. You can see the question now because I have not activated it yet. First, everyone needs to join slido.com and the event code is finance L4. Right, finance L4. So I'm waiting here for you. Join the activity. Okay. Let me see. I remember some of you didn't. Wait. Let me torture you with this music. Yeah. Okay. We will start shortly. 43. Oh, you're saying hi. Okay, hi guys. Oh, I think I have blocked. Are you ready, guys? Everyone just join slido.com and use this code, event code, finance L4. Okay, I like your how to like a message here. It seems I cannot. Okay, I just wait for a few seconds and then I will show you the questions. Oh, okay, no need to use the QR code. Okay, let me. Do you see now? Join slido.com and use this code, finance L4. This is the code. Okay, let's start. I want to play, activate the questions. 3, 2, 1. You should see the first question now. Suppose you have $100 in a saving account earning 2% interest a year. After 5 years, how much would you have? More than $110, exactly $110, less than $110, and I don't know. So far 80, okay, 130, okay, good. Oh, you want to see the barcode again? Actually, no need to use the barcode. You just go to slido.com. Yeah, okay. Do you see the barcode now? I mean the QR code? No, yeah, you should see it now. Guys, this is YouTube. You can Okay. 246, 248, 250. Let's go to the next question. Are you ready for the second question? Yeah, easy for you, Andrew. Okay, let's continue. Now I want to show you question number 2. So when I click here, you will see question number 2. 3, 2, 1. So suppose you owe $1,000 on a loan and the interest rate you are charged is 20% per year, compounded annually. If you didn't pay anything off at this interest rate, how many years would it take for the amount you owe to double? Less than 2 years, exactly 2 years, between 2 to 5 years, exactly 5 years, between 5 to 10 years, exactly 10 years. $62, $66. $121, $124. $240, $243, $247. Hurry up. Yeah, it's okay. You can share your answers here in the chat box. Why not? 200. When we reach to 300, I will play next. I want to know whether I'm really curious to know whether you can answer this question. 286, 289, 291. Dream Bits. Thank you very much. And I love this class. Okay. 296, just 4 more and I will play next. Okay, let me put 297, 3, 2, 1. Submit your answers. Okay, let's go. So the last question. What food do you recommend to eat for dinner? I want to know what's your favorite. Yeah, give me some ideas. You have received 136 responses, 155, 164, 205, 215, 224, 230. Oh my God. Okay, so submit your answers. I want to stop this quiz. 287, 288, 293, 293, just 7 more and I will stop it. I will deactivate this quiz. 297, 299. One more. Okay. Now let's see the results. Okay, let me stop this phase. Okay, so it seems the favorite food is pizza. I agree, this is my favorite. Actually, I also love kebab, right? Kebab, or we call it kebab. In Iran, we call it kebab. But anyway, pizza is my favorite. Then I think it's sushi, right? Sushi, yes, I'm a big fan. Okay, oh, burger, very good. Rice, fried rice. Guys, where is nasi lemak? Oh, nasi lemak is there. Nasi lemak is there, yeah. If you don't say nasi lemak, you will be deported, right? Here is Malaysia and you must love nasi lemak. Then, oh my God, who likes, okay, anyway. Steak, excellent. Steamboat, beef, hot pot, yep. Okay. Now I believe everyone feels hungry. Let's see other questions. But I agree with you. My favorite is pizza and kebab. I don't see kebab here. Kebab is here. Yep. So some people like kebab. I'm happy to know it. And yeah, also we have British in this class, fish and chips. Okay, KFC, no, I'm not really a big fan of KFC. Salad, I really love salad. Chicken, nice, it depends how you cook it. Now, let's see the answer to the questions. Okay, so the question is, let's first show you the first question, which is the easiest one. Yep. So suppose you have $100 in a saving account and you earn 2% interest 2% interest a year. After 5 years, how much you would have? So this is the compounding question. So if you leave it in a bank account, the first year you will receive you will receive $2 interest. So in total you will have 102. Then in the following year you will receive more than $2 because you will receive interest on that $2 too. So in 5 years, if it was simple interest rate, you would receive $10 interest. But this is compounding, so by default, you should assume it's compounding, right? So it means 5 multiplied by 2, $10. 100 plus 10, 110. And you will receive more than that because simple interest rate will be 110. But we assume, because it doesn't say so when it doesn't say anything, you should assume it's compounding because this is what happens in the real world, right? If you leave your money in a bank account, they will just give you profit on what you, they will give you interest on what you leave in your bank account. So the answer is correct, more than $110, and 64% could answer this question. Question number 2. Okay, again, this is here we mentioned even compounded annually. So this means that every year the interest you have to pay is $200, right? So in 5 years, you have to pay $1,000 if it's simple interest. But here it's compounded, so it's more. It's more, right? Because it's also about interest on interest. So if it's simple interest, in 5 years it will be doubled. But this is compounded, so it takes less than 5 years to be doubled, right? So it's between 2 to 5 years. So yeah, 55% could answer this question. Okay, so the correct answer is number 1. Where are you guys? So for the final exam, for the midterm exam, some of the questions you need to have a very good understanding of the questions. Otherwise, you won't be able to answer it. So it's not just calculation. It's not just about memorizing a formula and just putting the numbers in the calculator or in the formula and get the answer. No, you need to understand what you are doing. So anyway, let me see. Okay, now I want to show you one more example. It's about how the same formula, but how if you want to compute interest rate, if you have present value, future value, so the same formula, but now I want to, instead of computing present value or future value, I want to compute interest rate. Bye-bye. There is an investment that will pay you $1,200 in 5 years if you invest $1,000 today. Find the interest rate. So let's again start with the timeline. Today, next year, 2 years from now, year 3, year 4, and year 5. So it will pay you $1,200 5 years from now, and you need to invest $1,000 today. So, because this is what you will receive in the future, so it's future value, and this is what you need to invest today, so it's present value. And what do we want to find here is interest rate, or R, or I, or whatever you want to name it. And we have number of years. So, what formula do we need to use? So the same formula actually that you saw, but we need to write it in the way to find R. So R is future value divided by present value and power of 1 over n minus 1. So future value is 1,200 divided by 1,000, and power is 5, 1 over 5 minus 1. So if you do the calculation, you will get 0.03714. It means 3.714% is the interest rate per year. If you want to use your financial calculator, Texas Instrument BA2 Plus, again you need to, you have 4 parameters and you have 3 of them. You want to find the 4th one. So future value, that you press, you need to press the future value button. So the future value is 1,200. Then present value is 1,000. There is a button for n, which is 5 here, and then compute, you press CPT button and compute what? Interest rate, I over y, because I over y is interest rate in the financial calculator, and you will get the same answer. You will get the same answer. To know more about the financial calculator, how to use it, please watch the video on Texas Instrument BA2 Plus. The instruction has been given to you there. Okay, let's see one more example. I think I should change the background photo. What do you think? Let me see. Background. Oh, I cannot find the original one. Okay. For today, I just want to. Where is it? Can I keep it? can you keep this background? Because I don't know where are my backgrounds. Let me see. No, I cannot find other backgrounds that I had. Anyway, so I cannot find. So it seems we have to continue with this background till end of the semester. That's fine, no worries. Yep. Oh, okay, I found it. Okay. Yeah. Now, guys, this formula can be used to compute present value, future value, number of periods, or interest rate per period, right? So you should be comfortable with all these forms, right? For future value and present value, okay, straightforward. For the other two forms, it can be a bit, and you need to practice, right? And this is why I suggested you use a financial calculator, because especially for the future topics you will see, especially when we discuss bond calculation, not easy for the bond calculation. But anyway, I'm not saying you always need to use financial calculator. No, you need to know how to use the formulas too. So it's not good. It's an opportunity for you to learn finance in this semester, right? So why not learning these formulas? So my suggestion is learn how to use the formulas, learn the meaning of these formulas, then learn also how to use the financial calculator, because for some questions that I will show you later, you can do it faster with easier, right? Because if you do it manually, you may make some mistakes. So what I want to do, so the activity results was, okay, something about the activity. The first two questions that I shared with you, those have been used in many countries to measure financial literacy, basic financial literacy. So to answer those questions, no need to attend my class. The assumption is people by default should be able to answer the first two questions. So actually, if you check for the three financial literacy questions or 5 financial literacy questions, and the extended version has 13 questions by Losardi. So you will see that these questions have been used in many countries to measure basic financial literacy, right? Good that you are attending this class, because at least you learn these concepts. But the assumption is, so if you couldn't answer these questions, this means you need to pay more attention, take this subject more seriously. Seriously, this subject is very helpful for your day-to-day life. So okay, let me tell you what we want to do now. There is just one more video, it's 3 minutes. I want to show you how you can just compute the number of periods, right? So there are 4 parameters. I have shown you how to compute present value, future value, and interest rate. Now I want to show you what if we want to compute number of periods, right? And then I will show you a short video just for fun. It's just 1 minute, right? 1 minute video for fun. Then let's see how it goes, right? I understand I don't want to continue this class till 8 p.m. today. We want to finish earlier. So stay tuned and enjoy the class. So I want just to show you one more example. Where is my example? Where is it? You want to buy a new car and you are willing to pay $20,000 to buy this new car. If you can invest at 10% per year, so if you invest an interest rate that you will receive on your investment, if it's 10%, and at the moment you have $15,000 cash, how long will it take to have enough money to pay cash for the car? So let's start with drawing the timeline. So I draw it here. So today you have $15,000. So this is today you have $15,000 cash, and then you want to have $20,000 cash to pay for the car. the interest rate is 10% per year, and it's compounded yearly, so the period is year because interest rate is per year. And what else? Yep. We want to know how long it takes. So we want to find n, right? So we need to write the formula to find n or t or whatever you want to name it. So I write the formula in the way to find n. N is ln of future value over present value divided by ln of 1 plus interest rate. So future value is 20,000. Present value is 15,000 divided by ln of 1 plus r. R 10%, 0.1. And if you do the calculation, n will be 0.2 years. And if you want to use the financial calculator, you have 4 parameters and you always key in 3 of them and you get the 4th one. And the 3 that you enter today is, in this example, are FE, PV, and R. So FE is 20,000. Present value is 15,000. And interest rate. There is one button on your calculator labeled as I over Y. You enter 10. And then you press CPT button, means compute. And you press N, means how many number of periods. And it will give you the same answer. Oh, I just noticed that one of you, I can Chuin Lan Lim, if I'm not mistaken, he or she tagged me in an IG post. I want to post it on my IG. So can you help? So Chuin Lan Lim, if I'm not mistaken, faced a problem with the financial calculator. He or she tried to use the financial calculator, but couldn't get the answer. And check my IG account later. And if you can answer this question, make a story of the solution, tag me, and then I will call your name. So check my IG account later, or maybe now. There is a problem that I have. One of the students faced a problem when used financial calculator. I posted as my story in my IG. So you find a solution for the problem that happened and write it in a story, tag me, and then I will call your name. You see, my lighting is not good. Here, you see? Anyway, okay. Now, what I want to do is, I just want to show you something, right? And in the meantime, I want to prepare the next thing. Let me see first. Okay, I forgot I wanted actually. Yeah. Okay. So actually, there is just. Yep. So what I want to do is I want to prepare for our next activity something, and in the meantime, I want to show you a 1-minute video. It's a very short video. Hope you enjoy it. It's related to what I did today. Let me find it. So hopefully we will finish in 8 minutes, right? The class. Don't leave. We want to take the attendance. Are you ready for the video? Are you ready? Okay. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to share today's attendance code, right? Actually, it's already on my IG. I posted as a story there because some of the students were there. So now I want to, so the code is on my IG account just to, it's a bonus for those who are following the IG account, but I want to share it here too. So are you ready for the code? I want to share today's attendance key with you. So 3, 2, hold on. Yeah, I just wanted to see who is listening to me, right? I just said that, I posted it on my IG account. I want to see who is listening to me. And yeah, so far 30 people. Yeah, so 3, 2, 1. Where is it? Face display. So this is the code for today's class. This is the code for today's class. And yep. Let me see. Yes, 235. I'm watching. Yeah, interesting. I'm just checking your stories, those that I have been tagged to. Yep. Okay. So, let me check here what's going on. Oh my God, there are so many messages. Soma, yeah, what's the issue? Last thing, okay, yes, true. Sounds like daily, okay. 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 So, yep. Again, this is the code. Hope you key in the code on time. You still have 6 minutes. Now, so you need to practice, and next week I will show you how to compute the present value or future value when you have multiple cash flows, right? So today actually I want to finish the topic here, and I will continue next week with multiple cash flows. In the tutorial questions, there are just some questions from multiple cash flows, but the tutors will be working with you. But the main topic is next week. So the main topic for multiple cash flows is next week. But I have posted some videos on times2 regarding the multiple cash flows. So you can watch them. But next week I will there will be a recap of multiple cash flows, and then we will continue with some shortcuts, some videos. And guys, before you leave, let me see here. Before you leave, I invite you to, I will invite you to something, to an activity later. It's fun, through my IG account, right? So later you will see a post as a story on my IG account. It's an activity, it's a competition, something like competition. And let's see if you are interested. Okay, so I think, yeah, we are done for today. We are done for today. I think everyone already entered the code. So, yep, if there is no question, I will see you next week. Hope you enjoyed today's class, and yep, we will continue our discussion next week. Take care, guys. Bye-bye. 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 You're welcome. Yeah, I love pizza too. Khuda Hafiz. Have a good evening. Bye, bye, bye. Oh, thank you, Somaya. And bye-bye. No, the activity is only for IG. The activity that I will share with you later. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye. BBQ. Good idea. Thank you. Okay, you're welcome. Have a nice weekend. Happy birthday, sir. That was a joke. My birthday was not today. Let me see if you already, yep. Okay, guys. So I end the session here. Take care and have a good evening. Bye-bye. I wish I could join, yeah, but it's a bit late now. So next time invite me earlier, right? Tezaya, what's your name? Teyazan. So yeah, next time let me know earlier.